Greetings, followers, viewers. I just recently posted 4 videos, and they kind of like did not record together because it was very cold outside, and for some reason it just kept shutting off. Anyway, there's 4 separate videos. They're all pertaining to the murals that I discussed in one of my first videos, explaining that I taught art for a year at the school where my kids went to school, and we ended up doing some murals because the kids needed something to do. There was one class that had me for 4 days a week because the computer system somehow or another, there was a glitch and it messed up their schedule. They didn't have music or phys ed, and it was quite disappointing for them. So I had to sort of come up with an idea to keep them occupied, to like research some music or research art projects, and to find something where they could, get some exercise. So we came up with the idea of doing murals. And so the space scene that I presented was the first one with one of the 6th grade class that they really were having difficulty focusing and paying attention, getting along. They were picking on each other. And so I presented to them that in order for us to succeed in this class, we were going to have to come up with an idea. And the courtyard in that video was right outside of the art room. In fact, the beach scene shows the door that went into the art room. So I proposed that if they could prove to me that they would all work together and not pick on each other, that perhaps we could go out and paint a mural on the opposite wall of the window that we could look out and see. But the courtyard was pretty messy. So I gave them the assignment that if they could go out and clean up the courtyard, because it had leaves and dirt, some broken bottles and things, that if they could prove to the principal that they were able to get along and be successful in doing this cleaning project, that she may allow to let us do a mural on that particular wall. So then the project was also that it had to be educational and correct, and also aesthetically pleasing to the neighbors that would be seeing it. So consequently, it just proves that if you give someone an opportunity to do something instead of always thinking negatively about anyone, without knowing what their abilities are, or without really knowing what they're capable of, or even just giving them a chance to prove that they're not always, bad people. So these were, 6th graders. They're pretty unruly. They've got a lot of things going on, hormonally and socially, psychologically. It's a very difficult time when you're growing up. And it was just extraordinary to see that these kids, because they were given this opportunity to do something that they really thought was fun. So we researched, we looked into other projects, things that other people did murals. And so we came up with the space scene, but it had to be accurate because the science teacher was next to us. And so anyway, they did the space scene. It was a lot of work. It was painting on brick that was physically demanding. But, and it just shows that community can get together where they, ask their parents or their neighbors to contribute materials that we could use to do this. And it became such a hit when they completed it. And of course, one of the local newspapers came by and did an article, but I was very proud of all those students. And, so it ended up being that because they were so successful that other classes wanted to do it. And so as you see, there were 13 murals altogether, just because we allowed kids to have an opportunity to do something that was creative. And you see that these kids had compassion, that they were aware, and these are middle school kids. They were aware of what was going on in the world, and they decided that it was important to complete these mural projects because they would be contributing to their community. So that just goes to prove that if we decide to work together for a common goal, that we have the ability to do so. And I'm so very proud of these kids that worked so hard. And it took us 10 years to do them, but we did them, and it's been about 25 years, so it's still there. And it was just an incredible journey, and something that I will always remember. Anyway, this is Cam Marie. I'm 38 Cam 55, and I hope you enjoyed the artwork so far. And it's something to think about. Something to think about. In society, we all have to kind of look at people and try to find positive attributes within them, because we all have something to contribute to the world. And if we're going to live on this great earth together, we have to find that common goal, and that is really to sustain life and make it comfortable, to allow people to prosper and to live healthy and happy, and to respect one another, respect the earth, and be appreciative of the fact that we are all on this earth together, working toward a common goal, and that's peace and prosperity. Anyway, if you've enjoyed these videos, please subscribe, like, and share. Thank you. Take care. Peace out.